poetry? Yeah. Can you handle it? Yeah. You've got some stamina. What's the time now? 11 o'clock, okay. This is so bohemian. We stayed up late. Right, they're serving coffee at the bar. And it's time to introduce our second feature of the night. A poet who has been making big waves in the poetry scene all over Britain, all over Europe. We're lucky to have her tonight. She actually cancelled a gig somewhere else. We were paying her more money than us even, because we booked her first, so that shows integrity. So let's make it worth her while for coming up in terms of the vibe she gets. Please give a warm poetic welcome to Tempests.
Can you hear me like this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you prefer it like that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to try it like this for a minute, right? If it becomes a strain to listen to it, just tell me and I'll do it on the machine there, right?
That's great.
Yeah? Are you alright? I'm aware that you've all been listening to words for about 3 hours. Do you want some more? Yeah. That's very hospitable of you all. I just want to say before I start, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Everyone's been amazing and I'm completely blown away by how amazing everyone's been. And so just do that for yourselves and everyone else. And I know that sounds a bit contrite and like people say that all the time, but I actually mean it. So, I mean, you don't know if I'm being sincere or not because you never met me, but I'm being sincere. So, whatever. Here's a poem. This begins in this mythical city far away from here. It's called London. A small place, similar to this. Almost imagined in my mind. In London, where I'm from, I don't know if you can tell, there's these 4 kids, right? It was all of you at one stage, I believe. Or it may be you in years to come. It's called Balance. Go like this. Far away in a distant town, these 4 kids grew up firm friends. Ambition was the youngest, a bright-eyed kid with a numbness where his logic should have been because he was ruled by his hungers. Next there was Pride. He walked with a broad stride because he from himself would his weaknesses hide. Now people loved being near him. They didn't know whether they liked him or feared him. It's more they found his self-confidence endearing. Next there was Talent. Talent was beautiful and gallant, but she lived for her senses and not for her sense, and so her poor heart was covered in dents. Oldest was Envy. Her eyes often seemed empty, because she would talk loud in lengthy sentences. She was frenzied and sensitive. She was tall and she was cold, and her eyes were green like skin when it's marked by fake gold. So they grew up, and they fell out, and they made up, and they got drunk, and they hung out from sun up to sun in. They got done in, they hit the ground running, looked for and found something, but it all turned to nothing. When Pride got with Talent, Envy with ambition, they forgot how to listen. Things changed, became different, everything was competition. Talent and Pride became bitter, despised, they got hateful, sarcastic, dreary and drastic. And yes, they loved each other greatly, but their fights were fucking terrible. And they raised each other high up on pedestals. They isolated themselves. They stopped speaking to Ambition and Envy. They became distant and unfriendly. That's when Envy got sad and cried plenty. Her indignation roused, she discovered she wanted more than she had found with Ambition. Because he was always looking, but only got what he was given. Concerned not with what his hands held, but what they could be gripping. Yet he was always chasing. He never thought to fill the space in. And Envy made him more desperate with every pointed conversation, always forcing the comparisons, making him address how every time he promised more, she always ended up with less. And so in this way, these 4 firm friends became 4 fierce forces, heading for that awkward stage that precedes most divorces. 4 joint segments of a one-body party just kind of drifted apart and turned nasty. But pride keeps envy at bay. Ambition helps talent become more than just apparent. Talent, it will flourish. This will enable pride, which quells envy. Yes, they should exist side by side, because these factors contribute to balance. Alone, pride is often envious of talents. And yes, many have ambition, but talent they haven't. And some have talent, and they get envious of proud ambition. And so alone, these four friends began to realize that without the others, they're just a quarter of what they ought to be. Still, everything occurs accordingly. But now when they meet up, conversation seems to flow awkwardly. So they're just living separate lives, thinking, oh, there used to be more to me. That's